Welcome back to UNX Fast Forward, your daily dose for everything ninja. I'm Ethan Swanson.
And I'm Chris DeGangi, and we have 3 more men and 3 more women who are qualified for our UNX major on November 2nd. On the men's side of things, we had Caleb Bergstrom in the first place spot, Sam Folsom in second, and Travis Russ taking that third qualifying spot.
Right, and on the women's side, we have Rachel Brown taking that first qualifying spot, Elena Borges second, and Nikki Perella taking that third qualifying spot.
And Ninja Quest put together an awesome course. Glenn Davis, mastermind behind it all. We had 2 absolute ninja killers that took out about 60% of the competitors just on those 2 obstacles alone.
Which is insane. 2 obstacles out of 14 taking out 60% of the field. The first of which we want to take a look at is Spin the Cat. And this is a Glenn Davis original creation. He's a maniac.
Yeah, I mean, these are so intense because they're free spinning barrels. So when you try to jump off of it, if you're not lined up in the right spot, that barrel's going to spin on you and your foot's going to just come out from under you.
Right, and we saw that happen to Kevin Carbone, Tyler Gillette, Caitlin Bergstrom. I mean, and Sam Folsom did the same thing, but he saved it. Just like you're saying, if you try to push off at the wrong spot, that barrel's going to spin away from you, making it really hard to make that transition.
Yeah, and then the other hard part, we saw some competitors jump to it, get a ton of spin, and then they're just like hanging on for dear life as they're spinning around trying to fix it. And then on the other side of things, we had some competitors jump straight to it and then had no spin.
Yeah, I mean, that happened to Jamie Ron as you saw him get stuck right on the front of it, and it's kind of, you're allowed to reset at the beginning, but now you enter panic mode because time limit is already a factor, and you're sitting there, you're not able to move on it, and you start kind of thinking, oh no, well, you know, I have to do something here, and that's when you start making mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, just an intense obstacle. I mean, it took out about 1/3 of the competitors just on that obstacle alone.
Yeah, 16 athletes went down on Spin the Cat. But I want to look at another ninja killer, the Iron Maiden, which took out 13 out of our 48 athletes, and that was only 2 obstacles after Spin the Cat.
Yeah, the Iron Maiden is such a upper body strength obstacle where you have to be so cautious, because if you swing out the tiniest bit, those pegs are coming off.
Right. I mean, not only is it like you're saying, the swing is important, but you have to really be able to lock off and be so controlled when you make those moves. I mean, if you're desperately trying to make that next move and trying to throw the PVC on that dowel, that's a bad spot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw Rachel Brown and Nikki Perella both kind of try to start with the pegs a little higher, and then their hips swung back and the peg slid right out. But Elena Borges, on the other hand, made a couple moves up, and she was so close to getting in that next one, but just the other peg slid out and didn't quite get there. But
yeah, that was a very tough one. But I mean, once you got past that, then I think we saw some really special things. And so we only have 6 athletes coming out of this competition that are going to be moving on to our major, but we saw a lot of really, really big things. And so I want to look at some other big moments, our big time moments, actually.
Big time moments!
First of which, Elena Borges. I mean, she was the first woman through the Spin the Cat, which is so huge. I mean, that's a mental barrier to be, you know, coming up to an obstacle. No other woman in the field has gotten through it, and then you have to be the one to break through, which she did.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're looking at it, you're trying to watch other competitors, try and figure out what's the right move here, and for her to just kind of break through, it was just an awesome moment.
And next I want to talk about RJ Roman, just his efficiency. I mean, there were a lot of moments, but you saw it on the first obstacle, the steps. He's so comfortable. He got through that first obstacle easier than anybody else, and we saw it on the walk the plank. You know, that one's so important that you keep your momentum, and he didn't stop at all moving through that. You know, trapeze, just connecting everything so smooth, but you know, when he got to the flywheels, unfortunately, it's that efficiency that I think is what took him out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was trying to go for an efficient move. I think he was trying to connect on the flywheels. You saw his hips come back. He was really stretched out trying to make the move to the next flywheel. Didn't quite get there. So, you know, efficiency was great up until that point. And then all of a sudden, trying to make another efficient move kind of was the downfall of the run.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. If you're trying to be efficient like that, sometimes you go overboard and you make a mistake that you wouldn't have if you were a little bit more cautious. But a great run from RJ. And I want to take a look at Erica Cook on Walk the Plank to the Ring Slider. She jumped like from the center of Walk the Plank.
Yeah, we saw her kind of hesitate a little bit on the plank. You know, a lot of competitors would just run up through. She kind of hesitated, stopped her momentum, but still made it. Kind of made a crazy save on the ring, which looked awesome. Yeah. I mean, it was one of my favorite moments.
Fingertips. I mean, yeah. You're watching thinking, oh no, and she's so strong, she pulled it out. It was absolutely great. But then, you know, we're just talking about Spin the Cat. Travis Russ, who ended up taking the third qualifying spot, he linked every single one of those cat jumps, and it looked so smooth. He made it look easy, and you wonder, like, how are other people falling on this? But it's just, he was so good on it, made it look effortless.
Yeah, and a huge advantage with that, and I think the reason that he put himself in third place is you save so much time by just linking through that, I mean, he basically took no time on that obstacle, where we saw a lot of other competitors kind of struggle a little bit and ate up some time.
Yep. Now we got to talk about her, Ashley McConville. This is a very big moment, a shocking moment on the coin flip, the second obstacle, because I think her falling there meant that I think she would have taken a top 3 spot. She's so quick, she's so efficient, she's so strong. I really think she would have gotten through the Iron Maiden.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, Spin the Cat was such a, such a crazy obstacle that it's hard to say if she would have gotten through that. But I think on all the upper body obstacles, I think that Ashley would have had a really good chance to get through.
Yep. And speaking about the Iron Maiden, Cassidy Marks. What a crazy save. I mean, yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could see him kind of making his way up, and then all of a sudden, his one hand comes out from the peg, and he reaches up and grabs the step, and it was like just crazy one-handed save. But
yeah, the timing had to be perfect.
Yes.
If he had slipped off a little earlier, it would have been over, but he didn't.
Right.
He moved on. Yeah. So I also want to talk about Charity LeBlanc on the trapeze. She was going really aggressive and made a couple of second guesses. She reached out and missed the next trapeze and had to save it. She came back twice and then was able to pull through and make the dismount.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you could see her kind of struggle on that. Those 2 moves, reached out, didn't get there, reached out, didn't get there. She was a little crooked, finally figured it out. Big time moment, saved it.
Big time.
Got to the dismount.
Yeah, I mean, talk about big time here. Sam Folsom.
Oh, big time.
Coming off that first qualifier, not qualifying, coming here taking second place and getting that qualifying spot to the major. But I want to talk about Spin the Cat for him, because he did one of the things we said, was a big problem for people, jumping a little early, and you saw him stuck in the air and somehow grabbed onto that second barrel, pulled himself in, and saved it.
He was qualifying in this major, in this qualifier, no matter what. Sam was not going to be stopped. I mean, he looked awesome, and you're right. I mean, his foot slipped out, and he made this awesome save. And yeah, big time moment, because now he's going to the major.
Yep, and I gotta talk about Jamie Ron. Like, his entire run was a big time moment. I mean, it just, unfortunately.
Big time stressful moment for me. It's very stressful.
Yeah, I mean, he got stuck on Spin the Cat. 40 seconds were wasted on that obstacle before he reset. Once he reset, he linked it. He went boom, 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 right through, like no problem. But then you saw it in his eyes afterwards. He knew, I gotta move. Losing 40 seconds at this course is not something that's going to help you out at all.
Yeah, I mean, we saw our only finisher finish with 3.5 seconds left, and so there's really no time for error. And after Jamie Ron kind of struggled 40 seconds on the Spin the Cat, you could see him just kind of have to go into overdrive mode.
Yep. And, a little earlier in the course, I want to talk about Michael Poston is on the coin flip. What an unreal save.
Yeah, he just dives out. He didn't touch the foam at all, and just kind of dove out, saved it. That was awesome.
It was clean. Yeah, no DQ, no anything, but it's just, you got to think in your head, your foot's going, oh no, like on the second obstacle. He pulled it through though. That was awesome.
I like it. I mean, it's so wobbly, that obstacle. So just jumping straight forward, hucking your body to the dismount platform. That's the way to go.
Yeah, and then talking about, I know we talked about Spin the Cat a lot already, but Jason Kotzen, you have to mention him. He got through Spin the Cat smoother than anybody else. He made it look like he was just walking on the ground. It was so easy.
Yeah, I mean, you watch him and you're thinking oh, why is this so hard for people? But honestly, it is a very hard obstacle, but he made it look so smooth.
Well, it's one of those obstacles that when you watch someone do it right, it looks effortless, but when they do it wrong, it looks impossible.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about our last big time moment, Justin Cranmer, flying squirrel grab, fingertips.
I mean, that had to be no offense to Justin, but that was probably my favorite wipeout on the course. I mean, it was such an epic move. That is such a big move to the flying squirrel, and I was so pumped when he caught the first flying squirrel. It was a big catch. You could see he had the power, and then all of a sudden he goes for the bar, doesn't quite get there, but it was an epic wipeout. So
that was awesome.
But, yeah.
Hey, if you're gonna go out big.
Yeah, go out big. Go out big time.
Big time. So that brings us to, our 4 biggest moments in our UNX top 4. Where actually, before we go into these, we're going to have these available on Instagram. We want you guys to go and vote on which one you think is the best. That will come back next week to battle up against 3 moments from our next qualifier. So let's get right into it. The first of which is Kylie Hughes on the UFO from our first qualifier. What a special moment.
Yeah, Kylie Hughes, the first woman competitor to make it catch the UFO and make that dismount. First person breakthrough. You could see it on her face. I mean,
amazing.
She was just ecstatic when she caught it. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, she had a huge smile when she caught the UFO, and then she's like, oh, I got a dismount. She got the dismount, huge smile, and then it was like, I got to keep running this course. You know, it was such a great moment. The whole crowd was going crazy. That definitely is in our UNX top 4. Well deserved.
Yeah, huge moment there.
Yep. And then next I want to talk about Kayla Bergstrom from this most recent qualifier, Ninja Quest. Only finisher, 3.5 seconds left. I mean, that's one swing. You take a backswing on the flying squirrel, and that might be enough to mean that 3.5 seconds is gone.
Yeah, not only was he the only finisher, but he ran like 3rd overall. Yeah. And so he ran early, first finisher, 3.5 seconds left. Just incredible.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I mean, not all that, and then first place, you know, like the first qualifying spot. That was such an amazing run, and it was honestly, I was a little shaking in my boots thinking, oh no, did we make this course too easy? And little did I know, he's the only clear, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then our third UNX top 4 moment, we got to talk about Michael Vasilovich from the Naperville qualifier.
Yeah, so I was the judge in Naperville, and I'm watching Michael go through the run. He drops the sling. He looks over at me with these desperate eyes like, can I pick it up? And I'm looking at him like, I'm sorry, you can't pick it up. And the dude makes a huge move, jumps out to the second grip sling. These things are not easy to hang on to.
No.
Makes the save. Oh, it was awesome.
They're like paper towel things.
Yeah.
Surprised it didn't rip with all that force. But no, I mean, not only did he get that catch, but then he beat the obstacle and got to move on and cleared another obstacle after that.
Yeah, no, that was I love that moment.
Yep, and our last moment of the UNX top 4 moments, Ben Baker from Ninja Quest, 1 arm saves. Throughout the course.
The entire course, 1 arm saves. He didn't need 2 arms on that course.
Well, you should use 2 hands, you know. But no, I mean, he grabbed on the ring slider and missed 1 hand, grabbed on, and he was so confident. He was just like, yeah, I got this. You know, slides through. It was amazing. And then did it again on the Iron Maiden.
Yeah, no, that was unreal. Ben, just 1 hand, saves for days. Yeah, great.
And so those are our UNX top 4 moments. Go to Instagram, unx.now, and check those out. Tell us which one you thought was best, which will come back next week to battle against 3 more moments from our next qualifier.
Yeah, and so now I want to take a look at one of our obstacles from Ninja Quest. We're looking at the flying squirrel.
Big. It's huge.
Big. Huge moves. I love this obstacle. I loved how big the moves were. And so let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Wow. I love that obstacle so much. Some of the biggest moves that you're going to see in Ninja right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the move to the first flying squirrel. I mean, we saw Justin Kramer, how much power you need to get there.
Yes.
And then the move to the bar. It's not a gimme.
No, it's not. But, I mean, there's so much force there. I love it. I can't wait to see more stuff like that in the future. But that's all we got today for UNX Fast Forward. Join us tomorrow where we actually have Caleb Bergstrom's going to be breaking down his run from Ninja Quest.
Yeah, and so for UNX Fast Forward, I'm Chris DeGangi.
I'm Ethan Swanson. We will see you guys next time.